Hello everyone, it's Wei. Welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I painted this water hyacinth. The reason I'm making this tutorial is to help the Council of Europe and Bern Convention raise more awareness of the invasive species in Europe. The water hyacinth is a beautiful tropical flower, but is also one of the invasive plants that has caused many environmental problems in Europe. So today, I would like to make this gorgeous flower into a painting. This time I decided to skip over the pencil sketch because the form of this flower is fairly simple and the petals are not exactly identical, so I think it's okay to just create the form of the petals by your brush. Sometimes it helps you feel more carefree this way. I'm going to start with the flowers. The main colors I'm using for the petals are cobalt violet, dioxazine purple, and cinereous blue. The water hyacinth is a bluish, purplish flower, so those are the colors I chose. But you can also go for another blue or maybe try a touch of ochre rose because some flowers can appear pinkish in color. When you're painting flowers, make sure you pay attention to the different tones by controlling the amount of water and pigment you pick up. Some parts need to be darker because of the coloration or shadows. Other parts need to be lighter and more transparent. This way your flower won't come out as lifeless. The top petal has a bright yellow spot on it. I decided to go with Indian yellow for that because it's more vibrant than lemon yellow and more intense than Naples yellow deep. You can just lift out some violet color and drop in the yellow onto the wet paint like I did, but make sure your brush has a good amount of paint and not too much water. Or you can start by the yellow spot and paint around it. The water hyacinth is such a beautiful flower that kind of reminds me of the water lilies. It was introduced to Europe as an ornamental plant, but unfortunately in some parts of Europe its spread has gotten out of control and has made a deadly impact on the ecosystem. So I'm going to finish off all three flowers by the same way. You can see me occasionally dropping in some yellow and green colors. If you're following this tutorial, I would encourage you to boldly try adding these imaginative colors to your painting. The water hyacinth might look the same everywhere in nature, but it can be much more fun and beautiful in every one of your paintings. And that's the best part I love about painting. Now I'm going to paint the stem and the leaves. The water hyacinth has a very strong and inflated stem. The leaves are thick, round, and glossy, and they grow extremely fast and can cover huge water surfaces, which makes it terrible on the water quality and the aquatic life. So I'm going with forest green for the main color, and sometimes mix it with phthalo green light or Indian yellow to get a lighter color, and then cobalt violet and Venetian red for the darker tone. To paint the leaves, I pre-wetted the paper first. I want it to be just wet enough to get a soft edge of the leaves, but not too wet so that the pigments spread too much. I would normally check this by gently touching the paper with the back or side of my hand, because it's usually drier compared to the fingers, where it can be a little sweaty or greasy sometimes. It's better to then wait for a little while before you put in more details onto it. You can use the waiting period to add some more strokes to your flowers if you think certain areas need more works. We're now almost done with this hyacinth. I'm just laying down some more final details and a very light and pale background wash. This step is optional. If you can't make up your mind about the background wash, it's better to leave it white. This way your flowers will stand out and become the focus of the painting. I'm painting this layer of faint wash to create a hazy and misty mood, as if it's floating on a foggy lake. It may add a certain subtlety to your painting, but when that happens in reality, it can become quite problematic. So as a result, millions of euros have to be invested every year to combat the invasion of this plant. So I think the only responsible and safe way to have this flower is to paint it with your brush. And I would like to encourage you guys to follow this tutorial and paint this water hyacinth. I will be even happier if you come up with your own personal touch to it. When you're done with your painting, don't forget to tag me on Instagram. I'm always excited to see your works. I hope you find this video inspiring. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave me a comment. You can visit the Burn Convention's Facebook and campaigns website if you want to learn more about the invasive species. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!